Welcome back to glorious Esbjerg, home of the landmark Men at Sea. These 9-metre tall statues were installed in 1995 to celebrate the centenary of the municipality. Much of the industry in this port is oil, wind and gas, situated on the southwest coast of Denmark. Esbjerg also hosts the Granley Hockey Arena, where the 2015 Gruyère European Curling Championships are taking place. And we've made it all the way through to session 8 of the women's event. Our coverage this afternoon, Russia versus Sweden, and bringing you live commentary, Logan Gray and Sander Rolvag.
Good afternoon, Logan.
So let's meet the teams. Russian lead, Naruka Eshke. Second player, Alexandra Reva. Third player, Margarita Fomina. And of course, the skip, Anna Sidorova, alternate Alina Kovaleva, and coach Roger Schmidt. Swedish team led by Anna Huchta, previously the alternate earlier in the week. Second player, Sara Karlsson. Third player, Sabina Kraup. And the skip, Cecilia Östland. Alternate now Paulina Stein and coach Patrick Clarimo. And this is how they stack up after 7 rounds. Denmark and Russia both 6 and 1. Scotland hot on their heels on 5 and 2. Finland, Switzerland, and Sweden all 4 and 3. Norway 3 and 4. Germany 2 and 5. Hungary 1 and 6. And Estonia winless this far. And elsewhere in the Granley Hockey Arena this afternoon, Germany, Norway, Estonia, Hungary, Switzerland, Scotland, and Finland, Denmark. So ready to get this 8th session underway. Russia will be playing the red stones, wearing the black tops. Sweden playing the yellows and wearing yellow. Sander, I think we're in for a fantastic game this afternoon. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Probably two of the better teams in the field this year. See Anna Huchta here just kicking off the first end, where they draw to the house. I think Sweden's maybe been a little bit inconsistent, but if they bring out their A game, they should be able to beat any team out here. And Russia, you know, on their hand, have been very solid. Only had that little stumble against Norway, except for that, been perfect. So I think I'd favour Russia maybe before the game, but if Sweden brings out their A game, anything can happen.
And Sander, do you think we've seen the Swedes' A game so far this week?
Well, I haven't watched all their games, but certainly didn't bring their A game against Denmark yesterday. But they have had a few landslide wins, so I'm guessing they have it in them. We'll see if they bring it out today.
Yeah, so there's Paulina Stein sitting on the bench there, who of course is part of the starting lineup. Unfortunately, she had a nasty fall on the ice yesterday morning in the practice, played the game out. She said afterwards her ankle's swollen up, and got confirmation last night that Anna Huchta will be part of the starting lineup for the rest of the week. So a real shame for Paulina on her first European Championship. Just a reminder of the rules of play: 6 ends minimum to be played in the round robin. 38 minutes of thinking time for each of the sides, and 1 60-second timeout available to both teams at any point throughout the game. Marika Esche, we've seen her on the bench quite a lot over the years, but a change to the Russian lineup as well, Sander.
Yeah, I think whoever's been watching curling, especially the European Championships over the years, would maybe expect to see Katarina Galkina playing lead. But as far as I have heard, she's out sailing the world, taking a year off of curling. So chance for some other teammates to step up. I did see Kovalyeva play lead a couple of games, but very strong squad, the Russians. The same for Sweden. I think Anna Huhta coming in. It's not necessarily going to put a damper on Sweden's expectations.
Absolutely, Anna Huhta, the World Junior Champion 2010 in Flims. Silver medalist at the World University Games this year as well. Oh, a bit of a mistake with the Russian front end there, and all of a sudden Sweden lying a couple. Alexandra Reva, previously Alexandra Saitova. Recently married, of course. Another mistake. So here's a first look at the hog-to-hog split timer. Sarah Karlsson, the development officer for Swedish curling, turns her hand to a little bit of commentary from time to time, both in Swedish and in English. Oh, super draw here. Of course, Sarah and Cici, part of that World Championship winning team in 2011 here in the Granley Hockey Arena, so some warm, fuzzy memories to draw on, I'm sure, when they returned here to Esbjerg. Makes contact this time. So luckily for Russia at the moment, they do have the last one advantage. Some Yellowstones building up. Here's Sabina Kraup. Of course, the sister of Niklas Sedin's long-term third player, Sebastian Kraup, in the run-up to the 2014 Olympic Games. This is actually her second European Championships. She was the alternate in Moscow, 2011. And a first look at the Russian third player, Margarita Fomina. Well, hits and rolls out again. Perhaps the team's just getting caught out a little bit playing on the end board here, Sander.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, the first end, so ice might be all wet, tracky, and tend to see the pebble maybe just bite a little bit here and there. Sweden with a good chance to force Russia to take their single. Certainly covered a few games on this end sheet, and I have got that general feeling that it's maybe been curling a little bit more towards the barrier. Would you agree with that? Yep, I think so. I think that's pretty normal for other arenas and curling clubs as well. Doing a good job of splitting the house here in Sweden. And I think now maybe Russia maybe changing up the call. realizing that it'll be hard to blank this end and maybe come around the top yellow, try and use it as a guard, and maybe try and score 2 instead of putting the zeros on the board.
Well, it certainly looks that way. Trying to play the out-turn draw here.
Ten European Championships for Fomina. He's played 73 games in this competition over the years. But if Katarina Galkina was here, she would have been the player with the most amount of games overall, both for men and women. She's played 121 games, so a bit less experience on the team, but still plenty to get to that podium. Good draw by Fomina. Gets in behind the yellow. It's going to force Sissy Östlund to play a soft way takeout.
So here is Cecilia Östlund, shortened to Cici, 27-year-old. Slight correction from earlier, the Swedes did finish 4th in the World University Games, not 2nd. Over curls on this occasion, perhaps a little bit short speed on that one. It does open up the shot in the 4-foot.
Kanske. Nej, den här passar på.
Если вот так сделать, то она не будет стоять.
So that redstone looking pretty lonely in there at the moment.
Можно, конечно, еще пробовать привести с этой стороны под него, но тогда она будет делать рейс, скорее всего. Или просто берет открытый. Ну, если хорошо завезем, а если она может двойной пробить. Ну да.
So Sandra, would you say that miss by Cici Östlund was a kind of a good miss, as it were?
Yeah, some teams won't necessarily call a miss a good miss, but I see your point there. I think it was I think it was a bit of a simple mistake though. Should have been in contact with the redstone. Does open up the red one, however.
Here is Anna Sidorova, the face of Russian curling. Well, makes a hit and stick, but just rolls out of the 8-foot, and that was always going to be the danger. Actually threw that one pretty hard there, Sander.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. Just not really playing the control weight, and effectively just took the sweepers out of consideration. So maybe bring the weight down for those type of shots and try and hold the line using the sweeping. Sometimes you're tempted to maybe play a bit more weight in the first couple of ends if you're not quite sure about the ice. I think the ice has been fairly consistent though, so even if it's maybe a tad slower in the first end, you should know that, and should know how the ice is going to act. Getting to the later stages of the event as well.
Of course, Cici Östlund played 3rd position for Annette Norberg 4 years ago when they claimed the world title. Makes a hit and stick to lie 4. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Anna learns from her previous stone and drops the weight a bit here.
Good shot by Sissy, but could have rolled that underneath the top yellow. Made it a little bit harder for Sidorova to score a single. hitting against 4. And a bit of a wobble out the hack here. Again, throwing some solid weight, I'd say. Using the sweepers on this occasion.
Well, all sounds very frantic, but it is under control, believe it or not. And it does hit it right on the beak. And once again, a big weight throw there from Anna Sidorova, but gets the accuracy right. After one end here in draw 8, it's Russia 1, Sweden 0. Well, a good look at the Cranley Hockey Arena. If you are thinking about popping down to see some of the action, feel free. You can certainly get a seat in here. And after that force of 1 in the first end, Naruka Eshe. Looks like they're going for into the house. Well, comes up a little bit shy of the house. Sander, from a strategic perspective, where would you kind of place these teams in the like how aggressive they play?
Well, I think Russia has a really good defense, and sometimes they'll turn on the defensive gear, but usually just when they're up in games. We saw them put a whole heap of stones in play when they were playing Norway the other day, and ended up losing that game. So they can put some stones in play, play aggressive curling, and I think Sweden as a nation, just for men's and women's, they all love to put stones in play. So I would expect maybe a few aggressive ends later on.
Well, we just saw a lovely draw around the centre guard there by Anna Huchta.
What you might see from some teams is they might play an aggressive style early in the week, but when you start playing those last couple of games in the round robin, it's getting a little more cautious, a little more nervous. And you tend to get a few very open games with a lot of blank ends on the board. Surely saw that yesterday in the men's round robin.
Yeah, absolutely. Our featured game between Sweden and Switzerland, they rattled off about 5 blank ends in a row. So, meanwhile, over on sheet D, here's Switzerland and Scotland. Alina Pats. Oh, first end. Just needs to make a hit stick against 2 and gets the job done. Nice controlled weight takeout from the world champion Skip from Sapporo this year.
Yep.
Switzerland 1, Scotland 0.
14-7. 0. Fint, Anna. Riktigt fint. Härligt.
So Sweden getting some nice angles here early on in the second end. And you'll see Russia's not going to play around too much. Calling for a run back here from Reva. Definitely one of the players I could throw at the hardest. But it's just a firm throw here. Makes it with ease. Nice shot. And I think Sweden's just going to call the same freeze again.
Yeah, I think the Russians knew the angles really weren't good for them there, so makes the run.
Låt den bara gå den här.
Var med!
5, 6, 5,
Ja! 5!
Ja!
Nej! Bara fyra! Bara för! Gärna gå! Det är fin linje! 14 Gustav!
Bra.
Jättefin Sara.
No, it's able to place that freeze even better this time.
Bra Sara.
But should be a chance for Russia. Play the same run back and maybe spill both the yellows. See if she throws the same weight here or throws a bomb. Just a firm control peel.
Yes! Sweep! Sweep! Sweep inside! Sweep!
Oh, just kind of lost that one there. Could have swept that one a lot earlier. Ended up curling on them. And now actually Sweden's left a corner guard. And 2 yellows in the house.
Yeah, again, just the team's getting caught out of that curl towards the boards. Just snapped on them.
Tycker de att klippa corner? Vi är ju sista. Nej, det var inget.
Well, it looks like they're going to ignore the corner guard with this one. I'll throw a center. Do you support this decision, Sander?
I think they were just expecting Russia to peel it. So they might be just trying to delay their aggressive move. Don't mind the call, but could also come around, maybe come around the guard or try and split the stones a little bit, get some separation. We'll see what Russia does here.
16-5. Härligt Sara. Bra.
So sometimes you won't necessarily always want to put up a center guard when you have the last stone. And Russia's not going to peel the center guard. They're going to favor the play along the center line.
So Russia choosing to play around the center here.
A lot of rotation on Fomina's in turn here. But still curls up to the center line. And now what do you do if you're Sweden? Clogged up that center line a lot now. It's only lying to one. And now looking to come around wide around the corner. Not sure if that really worked out too well for Sweden, throwing that center guard. Could have kept things a lot more open and controlled the end.
Absolutely, Sander. It's always a risk to throw a centre guard when you've got the last stone. They had the options to play on either wing there to get themselves into a strong position for a deuce. And as a result, the scoring area is pretty shut down at the moment.
You'll see that draw just pull up short, so probably a bit slower out on the wing there. Roger Schmidt, coach for Team Russia. Doesn't seem to be liking what's happening so far in the second end.
Oh, I don't think he was too happy with whatever Anna was indicating. What call she was thinking about.
Чуть-чуть, да.
So interesting call here.
Ну, где-то 3/4.
They're
Стоим немало.
looking at a tap here. Those two corner guards are fairly glued together, so if you catch a high side here, that red stone might drag just a little bit towards the center line.
Not too sure about this call, Sander. I think it's much easier to control a draw around the two stones than try and play this raise.
I'd say so. This one's looking high anyway, so they might just come around everything, but probably too heavy to sit for anything really. Goes all the way through. It's probably the right speed for the tap. Just couldn't get the broom in the right place. Oh, I preferred the draw there. And if Sweden would ever come in on that same path, you'd have that lock to run in after. Remains untouched though, so Russia will still have it.
Well, and they're in a little bit of a difficult spot at the moment because they don't really want to move that yellow guard at the top of the screen either. I wonder what Patrick Clarimo, the Swedish coach, thinks of all this. Not giving as much away as Roger.
För den här blir ju inte riktigt...
Nej, men den här är för lätt tycker jag. Så de får ju vicken in liksom. På ett jättebra slag.
Den där vill man egentligen också vänta lite med.
Den här är ju inte bra, den där är inte bra. Utan den är ju bara bra där. Gardar det där då kanske? Ja, jag tycker också det.
Jag tänker, vad kan de göra med det här igen?
De är rundar.
Ja. Men om vi gardar det här, vad är det vi gardar?
Det är lite så där. Jag tänker att just nu, vi måste ju se till att vi har frifoten på 2. Nu har vi ju 2:an som det ligger.
Precis.
Well, timeout call there. Just a little look at Hans Wittrich, the chief ice technician on the way past. Sander, I think you've spotted something here, have you?
Fast det är svårt att komma runt.
Kind of a difficult situation, but I think I wouldn't mind maybe peeling that top centre guard closest to the house and just open up for the yellows for Sweden. And they're not going to be leaving Russia any gimme shot doing that. See what the coach has to say.
Jag såg inte om det något knäpp.
Nej, det är bara det vi tänkte på, att skavar man lite i övre, inte bra. Skavar man lite i nedre,
Nej, för det
inte
känns
bra.
att menar, blir man öppen här till exempel så blir det inget bra. Alltså det här blir inte bra.
Nej, det finns mycket som är dåligt med det.
Alternativet är att garda upp.
Det här är väl i och för sig okej.
Ja. Jag gillar den här, ja. Jag tycker den är bra.
Yes.
Jag gör det. Ja, jag tycker den är bra.
Opting for the in-turn draw. I like that call too. They were just discussing that earlier, saying how if you ever rub off one of your own yellows on the way past, it's really bad. You really only have to cover a tiny piece in behind here.
I've got to say though, Sander, I think I'd quite like your call of peeling that tight red there. I think that maybe will leave you the easiest option with your last stone to score 2. If you ever miss this one, then it's going to be pretty difficult to get another one in there.
So the last of third stones coming in here, Sabina Kraut. Just pulling up a bit short here. Not even going to make it to the house on this shot. That's still not too bad, I think, for Sweden. Kind of leaves that stone in a spot where you can run it in onto the top yellow in the house and get the red moving. That's a bit of a concern for the Russians. So they might just be guarding everything here, I think. Or are they coming around? Certainly guarding would allow Sweden to come around on the wide out turn for 2.
Well, it certainly looks like they're going to play a draw here with Anna Sidorovas first stone here in the second end. Certainly enough curl in the ice here in the Granley Hockey Arena to get into a shot position.
If they ever clocked Sabina Krupp's draw there, she'll have a fair
Kira.
shot at knowing the speed of the ice.
Oh, Kir.
Sidrova also with plenty of rotation, maybe more than usual.
Sweep. Sweep. Oh, sweep. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's has more rotation than the textbook would suggest, but I think they do it throughout the team, don't they, Sander? How important is that?
Yeah, for most teams, you try and just throw them the exact same way. It's just easier to find ice for each player if you're all doing the same thing. Some teams have given up on that notion, though. The Norwegian men's team, for example, they just all too different. So they're just looking to be more like themselves, as they say.
Certainly seems to be working for them so far this week, and I guess the other side of it is you can't teach the old dogs new tricks.
Exactly. Hog-to-hog watch. Out here, I think we might be looking at maybe even as low as 13.5. Just a hunch. We're going to see 13.8. Should be into the rings at least. Working this one hard to get it in, and they will get a nibble of the forfeit. That's a really good draw by Sissi Östlund, putting some pressure on Russia. Not sure what happened to Sidorova's draw. If she was playing the guard, don't think so. Certainly stopped short on them. And now coming back to this angle on the corner guards. Now there's a bit of separation between these two stones, so I don't think it's going to drag too much, but probably enough to get to the forfeit.
I think just as we get a reminder here, the Russian playing the reds, and of course Sweden lying 2 yellows in the forfeit there. I think we're getting a little bit of a demonstration of the, would you agree that Russia are still a little bit behind some of the more established nations strategically, and more so knowing what's an easy shot and what's a difficult shot?
It certainly seems that way at the moment, but we've seen better calls from Russia earlier. This one's going to over curl, and we're not going to get that drag effect they were looking for, and also getting a lot more motion through the rocks. It's going to end up back 12. That's a strange call. We tried that twice, and on both occasions, I think it was the wrong call. Draw for 3 for Team Sweden.
And again, it's very much an all or nothing shot. So if you play the draw around there and you can err on the short side, and it's still going to be really difficult for Sweden to get in there and score 3. But by going for that shot, they've still presented the opportunity here for CC to get another one in there.
Well, maybe Katarina Galkina has been the tactical genius all along, calling shots from lead position.
There's certainly no doubt with the Russian team that they can make all of the shots. It's just sometimes the jury's out on whether they're calling the best option. Well, it's got a long way to go here. They just lost it. I did wonder when they put the brush down if it was going to be enough ice. They took a similar spot earlier in the end and over curled. But didn't quite get the correct adjustment there. So it was only 2, and Russian tactical mistakes in that end not punished. And after 2 ends, it's Sweden 2, Russia 1. Third end underway. If you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the Gruyère European Curling Championships 2015. Our featured game here in session 8, Sweden and Russia, and Sweden scoring a deuce in the second end to take a one-shot lead. Well, we saw a couple of misses up that centre line on the out-turn in the first end. And that one over curling there as well. Defensive selection, Sander?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see them play the hit there and not throw the corner guard. We're in the third end. You might be looking to maybe score in the even ends, but it's fairly early to start thinking scoreboard. Maybe they're just not quite feeling it today, the Russians, so maybe just wanting to play another simple end, get their confidence back, make a few shots. So far their game plan and a few of their tactics call have been questionable, I think. And they also missed some shots. So. Playing the same hit. I think Sweden's going to be happy to just run the stones down. They're up by 1.
Well, looks like it's going to be an uneventful third end, but things looking a little bit more interesting over on sheet D, Switzerland, Scotland. EUR head with the last one of the second end.
I think she's trying to angle run her own yellow sideways onto the 2 reds here to try and score a couple. Don't think she's going to move them enough, and they both stick around actually. And I believe that might be 2. It is 2. Still 2 for Switzerland. And 3-0 after 2 ends. I was fairly close by EUR head, but not close enough.
Well, absolutely, and Scotland will need to win that game to stay above Switzerland in the rankings. Switzerland on 3 losses, Scotland on 2 losses. Sarah Carlson, of course, played second in that World Championship winning team in 2011 here.
Greppa mycket nu. 14-4.
Hämta dig själv.
Ja. Bra skjuts. Bra Sara.
Alice.
Bra.
So it looks like both teams at the moment are just quite content to put this third end in the books and move on to the fourth. Neither of them really pushing the button here, using the free guard zone.
Well, to be fair, Sweden can't really do too much. They don't have hammer facing a red stone in the house. It's going to have to be up to Russia to throw the corner guard if they want some action.
And these are the other games in play out there. Chance for you to see how your favorite team's getting on.
SWE! 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 Wow. Молодец.
Ja, jättebra fart.
And this is how they stack up. Denmark receiving their first defeat last night at the hands of Norway of all teams. Russia up there at 6-1, who also lost to Norway. And probably another 4 or 5 countries still in the mix for the playoffs.
10-6.
We generally say if you get to 6 wins, you're need to feel a little bit hard done by if you're not straight into the semis. Stranger things have happened though.
SWE! SWE! Wow! SWE, где бросать? SWE! Еще так. Хорош. Да. Молодец. Ta i bara.
Yes.
Ner.
Ren. Japp. Japp. Ren. Wow. Nej! Bara rent. Jag håller. Rent. Rent. Har vi något eller? Bra.
9-7.
Bra Cissi.
So nice hit and stick there by Cissi Östlund. And we'll expect to see the same from Anna Sidrova.
Yeah, certainly not too exciting a third end. Just trading takeouts.
SWE!
So they're quite well on in the
SWE!
championship now. And
Stanna där, Ronja.
how would you compare the standard of this year's European Championship to previous editions? Hold that thought, and we'll just move over to Sheet B, Germany-Norway. Germany leading by 2-0 against Christine Skazlian and her Norwegian Warriors. Only team to defeat either Russia or Denmark. Still only on 3 wins and still some work to do to qualify for the World Championship, but that's certainly going to help their cause. Put 3 on the board for Norway. Norway 3, Germany 2. So Sander, just to refresh your memory, I asked you just now how you felt that this edition of the European Championship women's event stacks up against previous years.
I think European curling has been developing in the right direction for a number of years now, and especially on the women's side, European teams are certainly excelling at the World Championships and kind of fencing off the Canadian teams on the tour as well. So level of curling fairly high. We have a couple of new teams, some upcoming teams. Some of the old stars have retired, but I think we're moving in the right direction. I think it's getting better and better every year. We'll always have a couple of teams that will face a tough time coming up from the B last year. But there's no easy pickings anymore.
Well, last tone there from Anna Sidorova gets the job done and blanks a very uneventful third end. And after 3 ends, it remains Sweden 2, Russia 1. Anna Huchta started the week as the alternate for the Swedish team. I think she was quite pleased with that opportunity, but she maybe got a little bit more than she asked for, and has ended up out on the ice here this week due to the misfortune of Paulina Stein, who unfortunately fell during a warm-up yesterday morning and damaged her ankle, so she won't take any further part this week. Anna Huchta will be leading this Swedish team for the rest of the European Championships.
Not the first Swede to fall over this week.
No, it certainly wasn't, and how costly could that have been for Nicholas Edin's team? Of course, we're referring to the final stone between Sweden and Switzerland. Nicholas Edin throwing a run-back double to win the game. His favourite shot on the outturn, and the stone was halfway down the ice, and unfortunately Christopher Sundgren fell and burnt the running stone. So, yeah. Maybe they need to do some footwork drills in Sweden or something like that. Maybe get on the speed ladders.
I've seen it happen a couple times this week, actually. So just this morning, one of the men's players fell over and knocked a stone off. It was Finland, actually, playing Russia in the last end. Kind of a key shot as well. I don't think it's very slippery out there. Just the sweepers just maybe putting all their body weight on the broom, and one little misstep and you're on all fours.
Good setup from Anna Huchta, gets the stone directly in line. Almost.
Саня! Sweep!
Just sneaks by the guard. Great sweeping there by Reva, and Pomina doesn't manage to remain on the face of that yellow stone. Over on sheet E, all the way on the other side of the Granley Hockey Arena, here's Ona Kaustet. Throwing last stones for Finland. 4-3 Finland, having a good week, and certainly very much in the hunt for the playoffs, and maybe the wheels starting to come off Denmark's wagon. That one's going to rear up just in time to score 3 for Finland. Denmark losing to Norway last night and now trailing Finland by 3-0 after 3 ends. Back in our featured game, super setup by the Swedes. Great angles there for Sweden if they ever wanted to get that Russian red stone out of the house.
Rova's going to call the run back from Alexandra Reva. She's made a couple so far in the game. She'll always be close to making contact with the back stones. Just trying to open up that forfeit area a wee bit. Don't want to play around too much on the center line. There we go. Still 2 yellows in the house for Sweden, and the red one flies, but it's going to help them a little bit. Leaves the center guard up front. So Russia certainly on the back foot in this end. We're going to have to work pretty hard to get back in, set up for a deuce, or even just score the single. 79% for Sara Karlsson. Really solid numbers so far.
Yeah, it didn't look like a great shot, that previous stone by Alexandra Saitova, but that red stone was really hurting them in there. Such was the quality of the
Det är bra Sara.
Det är bra för
draw by Sarah Carlson. And another good one there.
So I think Sidrova might be able to play a double here and roll in behind the corner guard. That's what she's looking at.
25-3. 25-3. Свип очень, свип! Свип очень надо, свип! Держать! Держать, девочки, очень!
Just a soft takeout here. Maybe a little bit too soft. This one's over curled and wrecked the guard.
Yeah, Sweden puts up another center guard here. Can't really see Russia left with a draw to score the single. Kind of blocked off that in turn now as well, moving the red guard over.
Känns som vi kan dra väldigt långt på slutet.
Ja,
Känns som vi kan dra väldigt mycket på
Ja,
slutet.
verkligen. Vi byter till om det behövs.
So here's Sabina Kraup, of course, I mentioned earlier, the sister of Sebastian Kraup. Long-term third player for Nicola Sedin in the run through to the 2014 Olympics. And another Swede goes down.
It's dropping like flies this week. Hopefully Anna Hucht is fine. Doesn't look like that affects her anyway.
Well, I'm sure
Vilken jävla save!
I'm sure the coach's heart was in his mouth there. We don't have any more players here, guys.
Vi behövde fortfarande dra den för linjen så det är bra.
See that again. Don't think she touched the rock.
Let's get a slow-mo on that one.
That was yeah, if anyone can make a remix of the falls this week, we have a viral video on our hands. Makes the double this time. Foaming up. Not quite enough to spill the yellow, but sits for a second shot. And has opened up the front a wee bit.
Får man göra så ska det vara hela.
Well, there's not much of Anna Hucht. She pretty much just bounced straight back up there. Anyway, time for the team to restore full concentration, and does.
I remember having a tough time playing a game back in Perth for the World Juniors. We were losing, and I fell over. And then we won. Just turned around from frowns to smiles. This could be a
from what to what?
frowns. Yeah, we weren't very happy at the time, and I fell over. Everyone had a bit of a chuckle, and we got on, won the game. So could be good for motivation. Trying to find positives and negatives here.
Well, maybe that's what the Russians need at the moment, because they're they don't seem to be too happy out there. Sweden's certainly looking a lot happier.
Oh, I think this shot can help Russia. Oh boy, that's exactly what you're not supposed to do if you're Sabina Kraup. There was never the tolerance for that shot. Well, that was always going to be the danger playing that shot. Could have thrown the guard even. Slightly more defensive, obviously, but now Russia with a good chance of getting back in with a 2. They seem to be really just really ignoring the wide draws. It's quite possible to get around that red stone. Seems like they have called it now, though. We saw that in the second in as well. We're looking at making these really tough double taps on the guard instead of just throwing around. But making a better call now. Coming out wide. Shouldn't be a problem to get in here. Get a piece of the forfeit to lie 2. As you see, 81% for Florina so far this week.
So here's a battle at the foot of the table. Estonia and Hungary. Merle Mulder throwing last tones for Estonia. They seek their first win of the week. Both teams really need to get a bit of a wriggle on if they want to remain in the A group. Of course, we've got the B group playing next door. Well, a nice draw. But a steal of 1 for Hungary. And after a good start, just the game tightening up a little bit there. 3 ends played. Estonia 3, Hungary 2.
Yeah, Dorocha Plancha, skip of Hungary. 2-time world mixed doubles champion. But having a bit of a hard time.
Jag tycker inte det. För att då har vi
Playing,
öppnar vi upp mitten, då blir det jättemycket lättare för en om inte
four.
sätter den.
4-player curling.
Jag tycker den här är jättebra. Jag tycker jag gillar den.
I'm not quite sure the term for
Ja, vi får ju ha marginalen på den här
The
sidan.
traditional format.
traditional format. Yeah, thank you.
Jag tycker den är bra. Ja, riktigt då.
Well, all of a sudden, the end's really turned on its head with that huge mistake by Sabina Kraut. Russia lying 2.
I think Sweden's coming through the port here. It's fairly snug.
90. Ja.
Could very well be a double there. This gets past the guard, just catch a tiny chunk up the top red, redirect onto the other one. Oops, sorry, not coming through the port. Seems to might be playing the angled tap. Starting to curl on them here. Like you said, Logan just swinging a lot more towards the barrier. This one just catching the guard, nowhere close of making the shot. Another mistake by Sweden in the 4th end, and Russia now just thinking it over. Certainly want to capitalize on this mistake by Sissi Eston.
Раскрывать вообще неохота. Раскрывать неохота. Можно пока закрыть.
Почти весь закрыт, видите?
Что почти весь? Видимо, ножка. Ножка.
Сложно им все делать. А
Наверное,
потом
закрыть, да,
зайти...
потому что я не знаю, что я еще буду делать. Мне дальше здесь ничего не будет остаться, если только она будет мочить.
Если только через наш.
Да.
Ну, у нас потом останется либо атака, либо толкнуть.
Ну да.
Она, скорее всего, его закроет. Тоже, наверное, изнутри лучше.
Да. Наверное.
Well, there's certainly been a lot of misses so far in this game. And in the end, there's been lots of stones in play.
Наверное, закроем ее атаку.
It's really been about who makes the worst miss rather than who makes the best shot at times. But Russia with a good chance here with the last stone. Already lying 2.
I think they're just guarding the same tap that Sissi Estlund was attempting on her first shot. Other option could have been to draw the in turn, maybe freeze the back hill, line 3. but throwing the guard here. Not quite sure what Sweden's going to do. Still a gap between the reds. Not sure if you can see enough of the hill to still make the tap. You could tap it at a very steep angle and still get to the forfeit.
Ja, eller den här.
Det tror jag absolut. Eller ja.
Jag gillar
Den
inte.
här känns ju tuffare.
Nej, det känns jäkla inte jag heller spelar heller den. Jag gillar den.
Well, the difficulty here for Sweden surely is that they want to get another one in there, but they don't want to make things easier for the Russians to be able to get another one in there. You see the clocks running away in the background there, of course, thinking time rather than playing time these days. Of course, the clock stops as soon as the stone begins to be delivered.
So we're just going to try and throw this one between the red stones on the right-hand screen. Just maybe backline weight. Catch a third and tap it to the forfeit. If she gets through the hole here, should be pretty close.
Yeah, tough shot here. Oh, the line looks good. How's the weight?
Just a tad too much weight, but it for second shot. Just had to sweep that one all the way to get it past the guards.
Или как-то второй, либо вести вверх куда-то.
Да, мне кажется, он торчит прям как раз, чтобы вот чуть-чуть накатить.
А, ты хочешь вообще накатить?
First shot that comes to mind here is
for
Russia to play the just in turn tap for two. Not sure if there is a whole lot more you can do.
Еще капельку.
Yeah, I think that all things considered, it seems to be a pretty good result really for Sweden. It certainly makes it difficult for them to score two and doesn't give them the chance to score three. So
Но мне вряд ли стоит супер.
obviously it would have been preferable for it to finish in shot position, but still a good shot all the same. Final stone in the fourth end, Anna Sidorova. Looks pretty close. It's by the guard, the way looks good. Oh, super shot. Nicely done by Anna Sidorova. And Russia put two on the board in the fourth end. Four ends played here. It's Russia 3, Sweden 2.
Что там сильнее? Я уже думала, сильнее это вообще нафиг сейчас выбьем, если попадем.
Чуть
Я
сильнее
думаю,
она
самый
начала.
край.
Не, он был сильнее, если бы не было...
Не,
приехал.
Final end of the first half. Maruka Eshe trying to throw a centre guard here. See the green light on the handle there gleaming to indicate a clean release before the hog line. These stones, of course, have eye on the hog technology handles on them. And they're activated by magnets under the hog lines to indicate whether the hand was still on the stone or not at the time of release. Sander, would you say the handles have had a benefit to curling?
Well, it's not like the players are letting go of the stones too late very often. And I think even if you let go of the stone an inch too late, it's not going to be a huge huge win for you. It's not really helping you too much.
But surely the rules are the rules.
The rules are the rules, so it's just nice to have it there. So before the umpires had to be out there and use their eyes, and you know, probably more wrong than the technology. I know a couple of players had their stones pulled a lot more often back before the eye on the hog technology came into play, just because it looks like they're letting go of the stone too late. So definitely a good thing. Sometimes the battery gets worn out, though. You have to change them, but I think it's all good.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw Anna Sidorova in her game against Norway almost coming undone when her must have been a faulty handle or something. The stone came to the second hog line. The light started blinking on the stone, and then the umpire tried to take it away. But the sweepers were saying, well, this didn't happen until the second hog line. So, but generally, they certainly are very trustworthy. Clearly released before the hog line. And a good look at that green light. Of course, if that stone was carried over the hog line, then we would have a flashing red light and the stone would be taken off.
Good call by Sissi to get that yellow around the red. It's just a bit too heavy, and we're looking to freeze the red stone. Didn't end up in the worst spot.
So RUS-SWE are going to try and move things around. It feels like one of the first times that Alexandra Reva has not been playing a run back.
Yeah, bit of a better setup for Russia here on the fifth end. Now we have two stones up in the top 12, and it's actually Sweden looking to make a play on the guard.
Yeah, just choosing to peel it off. I think nothing fancy. Already lying one at the moment. I don't think they're trying to preserve the shooter here. Just trying to steer this through. Oh, gets all the reds going and holds the corner guard. Wow. Well, couldn't have placed the stones better from the near hack.
It's worth another look, I think. So he rolls the shooter just in front of that top yellow.
Well, and Anna Sidorova just taking a step back to take stock of this new situation that's in front of her. I think it's going to have to be a defensive end now for the Russians. Nothing really to be aggressive about, nothing in any sort of a threatening position for the Swedes.
Он не очень будет оставаться центральным. Нам практически стей нужен.
Ну, как скажешь. Если хочешь так. С тем?
Да.
Well, still quite early in the end here, so Russia choosing to bail.
SWE! 5! О! О!
Отвалил.
Отлично.
Well, super shot from Alexandra Reva. Makes another run back. Certainly seems to be her forte. And here's Finland, Denmark, all the way over on sheet E once again. Lena Nelson. Wales just starting to come off the wagon a little bit after reeling off 6 wins. Already trailing by 3 shots to nil. And a must make here. She faces a couple of red finish counters. Well, super draw down onto the button. Puts Denmark's first score of the game on the board. However, after 4 rounds, they're trailing Finland by 3 shots to 1. Back in our featured game, Sweden-Russia. Lovely draw there. Oh, and the narrowest of misses.
Well, at least rolls the shooter to the center line. Could be helpful for Team Russia. Pretty close, but not as close as Alexandra Reva. Now Sabina Kraut playing the intern draw to come around the guard. Don't want to leave a double here off the white-yellow. Gets it deep enough to make the double pretty hard, but still there. I think you can see enough on the inside here to make the skinny double.
Yeah, and that was always the danger. I mean, it looks like a great situation for Sweden with already lying 2 in the house and the opportunity to come in and lie a 3rd one with the hammer, but always so dangerous with the centre guard lying around, bringing the Yellowstones close together as well.
The catch too thick. Just tickle the other yellow and spin to the right wing.
Well, interesting situation. Sander, do you hit the winger or do you come around the centre guard again and prevent Russia from playing the freeze?
I like the draw, and I think Sissy Estlund likes it too. That's a really nice draw by Sabina Kraut. Russia in all sorts of trouble now. And I think Anna Sudrova has called the run back already.
Well, they need a good one here, don't they?
Russian team not very audible at the moment. Not a lot of communication. Not a single word uttered in the hack between her and the sweepers. And she's just going to run that past Ailes. And now maybe a chance to make the hit on the red and sit 4.
Den är inte så dum. Eller den här. Ja, faktiskt.
It's going to be an easy double on the center line, but
Kommer inte om trippel liksom.
Sidrova's going to leave the shooter
Men om hon har det så.
in the open, and Sweden should be able to score 3.
Ja. Vi måste ju ge henne någonting och den känns ju...
Jag tycker inte vi ska vicka så att hon
Looking
har
to roll this towards the forfeit. Don't really think you need to.
10 då.
Just a nose hit here, be perfect.
borde dra lite grann.
And there should be no treble available. I think if you make this nose hit, you should be facing a fairly simple shot for 3 on your next one.
Jag tänker att gardar vi så kan hon runda in där. Ja. Ta bort den så tjock som möjligt.
Ja, jag tycker det är helt rätt.
10.
Yes.
A lot more communication between the Swedish players in the hack, that's for sure. Cissi Östlund coming down to the hack, just explaining her whole thought process on the tactical call. Sweepers agreeing, then just kind of discussing the weight she's going to throw. That looks pretty good. Nose hit, perfect. Line 4. And Sidrova knows she's just going to have to play the simple double and give up a 3. There is a small chance you throw it hard enough. You can make the double and maybe roll it closer to that red stone on the wing. But you got to make sure to remove 2 yellows here. Big weight from the Russian skip.
Well, has she got it away?
I don't think so, Logan. Wow, that was a big mistake by the 24-year-old. It was a fairly easy shot to make anywhere high side, really. And both those yellows fly.
Yes.
But one of them sticks around, and it's a nose hit for 4.
Yes.
So far, Team Russia hasn't been on point, I think. Not showing their best.
Well, final stone of the 5th end. Cissi Östlund should be just a formality here. Body language not great for the Russians here. Nicely done. 4 yellows on the board for Sweden. And Russia with a lot of work to do. Sweden will go in at the half-time break, leading by 6 shots to 3.
The second end, you would see Cissi Östlund lying 4 shot stone coming out on the in-turn here with her first one. Working this one really hard. Just able to snag a piece of the forfeit to allow 2. And then we would see Sidorova try a difficult tap up on the guards, not coming off for her. And Östlund was left this out-turn draw for 3. But just couldn't put enough weight on it out in the rough. Starts to over-curl, catches the guard, and only a deuce for Sweden. But in the lead, 1 up after 2. Get a black end in the 3rd. And in the 4th, Anna Sidorova with her last stone, looking for a tiny angle tap to score her 2. No problems there from the 24-year-old skip. And Russia in the lead by 1 point, but after that huge score of 4, Sweden up by 3.
And here's an update from Scotland, Switzerland. Well, what's happened since we last saw Alina Pats? They were 3-0 up after 2. Scotland bounced back with a score of 3 and then a steal of 2. And here's her final stone of the 5th end. And Sweepers having to go to town on this one. And it's going to come up a little bit shy. It's going to be another steal for Scotland. And at half-time there, it's Scotland 6, Switzerland 3. And elsewhere on the ice, Germany leading Norway by 6-3. Estonia leading Hungary in the basement battle by 5 shots to 2. And Finland leading Denmark by 3 shots to 1.
У них хороший был, навек случается.
Their mistakes are coming as long as we keep smart. Play smart. Play smart.
Нам надо играть умно, камни ставить куда нужно, думать куда ставить.
But when we get those breaks, we've got to make a good shot after the break, right? After they make a mistake.
Если у них будет ошибка, то мы должны подумать и выполнить бросок после... И свой выполнить уже после их ошибки.
Stone position.
Jättefin! Är det någon som har hämtat pappret till mig?
1:20 kvar.
Jag vet. Nej, då är det dem. Ja, jag har. Jag fotar domaren. Ja, jag börjar gå ner. Thank you. Yes.
Vi ses efter matchen.
Bra, Anna.
So here's the stats for the first half. Sander, do you see anything in the teams there?
Oh, just Sweden, just overall more solid, making more shots than Russia. So they've also had, I think, a few better tactical calls. Russia has been just all over the place in the first 5 ends. Just need to get their act together, really. Not really communicating either. See Sweden being a lot more talkative, and it's working for them. Just kind of wonder if with Russia being professional curling players, it might just be too much practice, and get to a championship, some of the energy just goes out, seeming a bit deflated at the moment.
Well, underway in the 6th end, and if you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the 2015 Gruyère European Curling Championships. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me, Sander Olivak, bringing you live commentary of a featured game here in session 8 of the women's event. Sweden leading Russia by 6 shots to 3. Naruka Eshe playing 80% for the game and 80% for the tournament.
Ой, здесь прямо идет. 25! 26, 25, 26. Саш! Саш! Свип! Да, для линии. Да, еще, надо.
Мало свалил.
Sander, would you agree that Sweden maybe look like they want to win this game more than the Russians at the moment?
Oh, absolutely. Just look a lot more energized, and as I mentioned a few times, just more talkative, commuting well. Smiles all around, while the Russians are just looking a little deflated, not interested.
I'll hold that thought. We'll have a look over on sheet E. Here's Ona Kausta playing the final stone of the 5th end for Finland, leading the host nation by 3 shots to 1. Finland making a good push for the playoffs here. Needs to be a little bit careful here. Well, that could have been a lot worse. Gives up a steal of 1. Super chance to score 2. And after 5 ends, it's a 1-shot game there. Back in our featured game, Sweden and Russia.
Yes.
So just as I was saying before, Sander, do you think that's maybe somewhere that the Russian women's team can develop themselves going forward? I mean, is it reasonably common occurrence that when the Russians kind of drop behind, they look like they lose interest and they don't bounce back as well as some of the more tenacious teams out there?
I think what they might be lacking is a fun character on the ice. You see the front end of Sweden. You have Anna Huhta, Sara Karlsson, just happy-go-lucky curling players, and when their team's down in spirits, they seem to, crack a few jokes and just kind of cheer up their team. I'm not really seeing that in the Russian team. No one's taking that responsibility, and they're all just not talking to each other, and it's going to make it really hard if you're not having fun out there. I think that's really key. Playing a 3-hour game, if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to win.
Well, certainly somebody needs to take some leadership in this Russian team and perk them up a little bit. Alexandra Reva only playing 58% this far. Has some tough shots to play. But another error as she clips the guard. And there are all the scores through the 5th end. A chance for you to find out how your nation is getting on here in draw 8. Came right down into the business end of the round robin.
Germany with a big score of 4 there in the 5th end against Norway to turn the game around.
Well, quite a good result in the end, but a little bit scary there for Sara. Corner guard now wide open for the Russians to play around.
See the hog-to-hog stopwatch here. See if the ice is quick enough at all. We're looking at just below 14 seconds for a draw. This one is 14.5. With some sweeping, we'll be able to get this one into the top of the 4. So, ice is fairly quick. That's a good draw too.
So Sweden feel like they can still see a piece of that drawn stone by Alexandra Reva.
Really working this for a line. Just gonna tickle it. That's certainly the tolerance for that shot, just to move the guard over. You end up spinning the shooter into the house, keeping things fairly open.
So chance to lie 2 here for Russia. Margarita Fomina playing 73% this far. Oh, makes a lovely hit and roll under the cover.
I think you might see Sweden play the little run and roll over. That's what Cissi Östlund's indicating.
%78% for Sabina Kraup. Chance for a double off the own yellow here, Sander?
Yeah, for sure. Could catch the top yellow quite thin and run it back. Maybe even redirect off your second yellow. Kind of like Glenn Howard's ricochet shot at the Briar a few years back. Quite similar, actually. But it's going to make this whole run and roll. That's just perfect shooting.
Fantastic shot there by Sabina Kraup. Almost a smile. Well, they certainly look very focused out there, the Swedes. Another look at this one. Rolls over to make the freeze on that shot stone. Well, that kind of shuts down the scoring area a little bit for Russia. They're going to try and split the 4-foot here to lie 2. Not a huge amount of room to work with, though.
Even if you overcurl and set for third shot, it's not too bad. Just got to make sure not to group these 2 red stones together too much. This one having to curl a lot. Still on the wrong side of the center line. Working it for weight. Well, gets in for third, so not terrible. There is a chance for a slash double if Cissi Östlund is willing to take it on. And I think that's what she's looking at.
Well, just next door on sheet B, Germany up against Norway. And Daniela Drinda played a fantastic shot to score 4 going into the halftime break to take a 6-3 lead. Here's Christian Skazlian. Super's backing off this one. Just a hit and stick against 2. Doesn't manage to stick around. And it's a steal. Germany moving into a 7-3 lead, and perhaps looks like they're going to join Norway on 3 wins after this draw. Oh, what a shot by Cissi Östlund. Makes the slash double.
Yeah, really on fire today, the Swedes. It's a whole different team than we saw against Denmark yesterday.
Absolutely, I was just thinking the same thing, Sander. Just looked really focused and on point. Nice to see Paulina Stein still having fun up there on the bench, despite having to be there. I'm sure she would rather be out on the ice. Sidorova playing 70% this far.
Внимание! Свип!
Оу! Свип! Оу! Нет, вообще! Оу!
Well, not able to make the roll. So that red stone fully exposed for Sweden. I think Östlund will be looking to just play a nose it here. And that's going to force Russia to probably play a draw for the single.
Cici Östlund playing 73% for the game. Number is probably a little bit lower than it feels like some of these players are playing. There was a couple of kind of hairy ends where there was a lot of misses, but certainly the last few ends, Sweden looking sharp.
Yeah, it's all down to the key shots, though, isn't it? We had a great slash double to kill the deuce for Russia on our first one. Now a good nose hit. And I'm a bit surprised to see Sidorova playing the hit here, perhaps. Seemed to be a lot of room for the draw. All the 8 fits. I think a confidence skip would probably call the draw. But if you make the nose hit, it's fine. Whatever you're most comfortable with, I guess. And there you go, no problem.
The interesting thing for me, Sander, there is that she's playing a much lighter takeout than she was earlier in the game when she was playing against 4 in the first end. So giving themselves a lot more room for error, certainly. And after 6 ends, it's Russia 4, Sweden 6.
Очень надо.
Меняйтесь. Дальше. Тогда ближний, ближний. Рита, первый, Рита.
7th end, Sweden 6, Russia 4. And Russia with a lot of work to do without the last stone, trailing by 2. Is it time to hit the panic button yet, Sander?
Well, certainly need to put some stones in play. Only 4 ends left here. Trailing by 2, no hammer. I think you're going to have to go hard for a steal here in the 7th end. Say a score of 2 or more for Sweden here. That's going to put the game behind. Doesn't quite get all the way around the guard, but leaves that top 12, half exposed. Might even see some teams throw 2 centre guards in this scenario. Just going to force the issue a little bit, but sticking to the 1 guard. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Sweden peel that off as soon as they have a chance to do so.
Oh, it's important to get buried here if they are going in. Don't want to leave a takeout. Comes up shy though and stays in the free guard zone.
I och för sig. Kan jag faktiskt gilla. Men ja.
Jag väntar lite.
Oh.
7-8.
Oh, Anna hooked out. Going into the house once again, just a little bit deep. That'll be a nice one for the Russians to follow.
Good weight control by Reva. Now, see Sissy Estlund indicates again background weight, and I think her front end just saying, hey, why don't we just peel the guards?
Yeah, just reeling the skip in. Easy, Tiger. We've got a 2-shot lead and we've got the last stone.
Yep, sensible call by the other teammates. Sissy Estlund also just nodded in agreement there, saying, of course we're peeling the guards. What was I ever thinking?
Yeah, just missed the line call there to get them both off, but still a greatly improved situation. Back over to Finland, Denmark on sheet E. Finland leading by 3 shots to 2. So Anna Kausta giving up a steal in the 5th end. A glorious chance to score 2.
Pretty tough draw though.
Already lying one in there though in the 4-foot circle. This needs to be full 4. Supers in full control of that one. Puts 2 on the board and opens up that 3-shot lead once again. Finland 5, Denmark 2.
Russia just trying to come around the guard there. Gets half around, but Sweden's going to try to run back. Try and peel both the reds. Sara Karlsson with the out turn. Very close to making it perfect, but does the most important thing. That's to peel the guard and roll the shooter all the way out. I think Sidorov's indicating a tap on the red stone here. Trying to move that yellow stone back of the house. Not really sure if you need to be moving that yet. Still 4 stones to go for each team. Might just be a bit early.
I just wonder if it might be worth them getting another guard up out here and creating some cover.
If we ever miss this one, either high or narrow, might just open up everything for Sweden as well. Coming really close to that top yellow, and they will rub off.
So a few reds lying around. There's one of our younger fans in watching the draw today. Watching Sweden playing some extremely good stuff so far.
Oh, another good shot there. Actually, being a crowd, could have played that with a lot more weight and tried to move another right out the house, but plays that with a controlled weight. Catches it pretty perfectly, rolls it over, and lines up those yellows.
Yeah, the Russians just haven't been precise enough with their stone positioning today. And anytime they have a foot slightly wrong, then the Swedes have punished them for it, and Signa Kraut doing so once again there.
Это не чуть сильнее, девочки, это колодка вес.
Yeah, not sure if that's going to help Russia too much.
Back next door, Germany, Norway, 7-3. And Christian Skaslien, we saw her hit and roll out in the 6th end to give up a steal. Chance to score 2 here to bounce back. Deja vu. Hits and rolls out, only gets the single. 7-4 after 7.
Eller vill vi hellre här?
Hellre där.
Ja.
Yes.
Well, the whole team coming up to have a look. Sander, how important is it that sweepers know where to put this stone exactly?
I think you answered your own question there almost. If the sweeper doesn't know where it's going, it's really hard to make the perfect judgment call. It's nice to see that they're all sort of communicating, bringing the sweepers into the decisions and just including them on every shot. Doing that, I think your sweeper is going to be a lot more focused on what the task is. And not only just seeing what the shot is, but maybe knowing what the options might be and the tolerance for the shot. This one just a little bit heavy at the moment. Just waiting for this one to dig in. Trying to get to the inside of the red, and they have done so. So that's a pretty decent shot. Nice angles there for Sweden. Although I think they might just be lying the 2.
Yeah, absolutely, Sander. So often these days the sweepers are fully responsible for putting the stones in the right spots. So they do need to know exactly where the stones need to be, but also they need to have a pretty good understanding of strategy themselves. Well, tough shot here for Anna Sidorova. She's going to drive this yellow back and try and rumble a few yellows out of there.
Might make 3 yellows fly here. jam it at the back. That was a pretty good throw. Just didn't quite come off for her there. Sweden still lying to 2. So Drova looking a bit worried, feeling like this game is maybe slipping away. And I guess that back heel was always going to jam me.
Hon har ju det, ja. Ja, frågan om man ska dra en toppbyrå. Vad tycker ni om chappen?
Ja, jag tänker att hon har väl draget, men jag vet inte hur.
Ja, men vad är alternativet?
Täppa för den
Hon
så,
kommer
men då
göra
har
det.
de micken in istället, va?
Det känns som man kan få dra in båda två här om man slår så.
Ja, det är
Nej, men då gillar jag
Ja,
faktiskt
jag
att damma
tycker
på
det är
den.
bra. Vi måste ha locket där.
Vi kommer ju... Vi drar hon den perfekt så borde vi ha den så också.
Ja, jag tänker att även om hon drar så har vi locket öppet. Ja, det är sant.
Ja, jag gillar det.
Ja.
Chapp.
Ja, ja, jag tror vi kan ha lite invick också.
Ja.
Sandra, after some discussion, what's the final decision here?
I think they're playing a nose hit on the 2 reds to just double them off. Not 100% convinced that top red won't tickle the back heel on its way by. See how it comes off.
Well, this one's all about where the shooter ends up, really. They don't want Russia to try and play a freeze on that back heel.
Did catch the back one, but spins it out of the danger zone.
Yeah, keeps them lined up, but just wonder if they can see enough and hit it hard enough to make a triple. All 3 yellow stones pretty much in a line now.
Pretty hard run back. Gonna have to catch the top one quite thin with a lot of weight. You would probably need one of Alexandra Reva's bombs to make it. Could play it with a quiet weight maybe. Play the run, try and stick the red on the nose of the yellow, but you'd still be leaving a forfeit draw for 2. You're gonna ask yourself, is giving up 2 here at the end of the game, or do we still have a chance 4 down? Risk it all, play the draw, hope for a miss. Pretty tough draw as well. Not really any place to hide. It's one of those situations where you feel like every option is a bad option.
Just a reminder of the stone colors.
Теперь останется стоим, это останется стоим, это чуть-чуть в сторону отойдет. Это единственное лучшее, что может быть.
They would certainly prefer to be Sweden right now.
Ну вот это все очень чуть-чуть. Чуть-чуть изнутри. Здесь тоже чуть-чуть сюда. И получается здесь маленький ролл, там маленький ролл. И она останется ближе.
Ну что, пробить хочешь? Да?
Мне кажется, да.
All about shifting as much granite as possible once again here.
So, is you playing this one to stick it on the nose or to rip them all? I guess we'll have that answer in a few seconds. Not taking a lot of ice, so I think she might be throwing a bomb down the ice here. Certainly. Big extension as well. See how many yellows fly here. Yep, gets the 2. That was really, really hard to get that 3rd yellow flying.
Yeah, still a good shot all the same. If you don't get that quite right, then you're giving up 4. So a good shot there by Anna Sidorova, but still going to give up the deuce here, it would seem.
Just got that top one a bit too thick.
Never in doubt, Cici Östlund. Hits the white bit, puts another 2 on the board. Sweden looking strong here after 7 ends. It's Russia 4, Sweden 8.
Bra. Bra. 4 frys, eller vad gör vi? Eller 4 igen.
I'll look inside our production truck, sitting outside in the rain, producing these fantastic pictures here inside the Granley Hockey Arena. Session 8. Sweden, Russia. Sweden leading by 4 here in the 8th end. Logan Gray and Sander Rovog bringing you live commentary. Sandra, perhaps just at the start of this end, an opportunity for us to talk about the changing dynamics of the sport here at the international level. Teams certainly look like they're getting a lot younger out there in what's generally regarded as an aging sport. Why is that the case?
I think just there's more funding nowadays, so young players get a chance to take more time off work, school, education, and to follow a professional curling career. And with that, they're being able to practice every day, go to the gym, and they're getting a lot better, a lot quicker. Whilst maybe back in the day, best players would maybe be the ones that were around for a good 20 years, picking up all that experience over 2 decades rather than 2 years. So I'd expect to see the same in the years coming. I think maybe curling players might tend to retire earlier as well now. They're playing so much over the course of a season. Might be a little fatiguing. Already see some teams take a step back from the game after having a few busy Olympic cycles. like we also mentioned, Katerina Galkina for the Russian team taking a year off. It'll be interesting to see if she'll be back next year and go again.
Yeah.
So here's Sarah Carlson going to peel the corner guard.
Bra Sara!
Да. Это нормально так, Саш?
Я не знаю.
Gets the guard off.
Нормально?
Ну, что вы нормально?
Я думаю, на 9, да, где-то?
Да.
Now I think changing up the call. Playing a draw around the top heel. The lead setup for Sweden. Not perfect in this end, so giving Russia a chance to use that stone as a guard, come around, also have that back heel to freeze onto.
Over on Shidi, another potential upset on the cards here. Here's Lena Nielsen battling to try and get a 7th win on the board for Denmark. Already qualified for the semi-finals, but still ranking to play for.
Frantically calling off her sweepers on this one. And well, Carolina for her, score 2. Right back in it, 5-4 in favour of Finland after 7 ends. Still very open. And I did see Areva playing an in-turn draw in the top heel. Sweden trying to run it back, not able to do so. Leaves one red stone in the forfeit. But fully exposed.
Если больше... Ну, он типа дальше будет, если... Пока можно, да.
Sidorova going to make use of that corner guard, come around. And it will be up to Sweden to either make a play on the stone in the house or peel the guard, as we see the percentages.
Sarah Carlson having a super game, playing 97%. Not even giving Alexandra Reva a look in.
I think maybe Reva's been judged a little bit harsh on her hits, 58%. She's made some really good run backs, and even though she could have done slightly better on a couple of them, they've been very close. She's had some difficult shots to make in this game.
Well, and that is one of the problems of the stats system that we use at the moment, is that it doesn't really factor in the shot difficulty. All stones, of course, marked out of 4 to arrive at the numbers that you see in front of you.
So it makes that draw just in behind the tee line. Now Sabina Kraut will make a play on the open stone. We'll hit and roll.
Well, Leo's running high. They tried to put the brushes down there to make the skinny double, but doesn't catch it soon enough.
A bit of a mistake there. Really needs to stick around, I think. Now he's left nothing in the forfeit, and a chance for Russia to come around the corner guard again. This could very easily set them up for a score of 3. If they make it good.
Oh, a missed mistake there. Sorry, a missed opportunity there by Margareta Fomina. And there you see her way down on 54% for draws. Just not managed to get stone placement right, and Sabina Kraup's always been there to tidy things up.
Now kind of changing up their tactics here, Sweden. Moving from defense to offense. Coming around the center guard. And that's perfect weight control by Sabina Kraup. Over-buried, actually. And not leaving Russia a lot of room to get in there. Could come around the yellow, but fairly difficult draw. And you might have to be behind T.
Иди сюда. У нас времени мало, не забывайте.
Sidrova just calling her vice captain to have a little talk.
Все нормально? Нет.
Если мы заморачиваемся тем, что мы хотим взять больше, чем 2, тогда, наверное, надо пробовать рисковать. Если мы хотим взять хотя бы 2, то
shot there by Sabina Kraup was necessarily
Если мы сейчас
went straight out the textbook,
попробуем
but
бить, у нас еще есть возможность
certainly
взять
well
2, даже если
executed.
получается. А если получается, то и больше. Мне кажется, надо пробовать.
Certainly giving them a bit of a head scratcher.
I think they're opting for the run back, I believe. Really tough shot. I think it's the best shot if you make it, but certainly not easy. If you could ever just run this red one back, maybe even make the double on the yellows and check in then behind the corner line too. That'll really help you in this situation, but you got to be deadly accurate. It's going to run it past. A little tickle on the back yellow. That's not really going to improve this end for Russia. Still covered the yellow stone.
Hon kommer ju dra här då.
Patrick looks like he's sitting comfortably.
Hon rundar då,
Vad
va?
rundar de?
Ja, så är det ju. Men det är ju...
Ja.
Ja, så.
Vad sa du? Ja, jag kan tycka att den är bra. Ja.
Skönt att ligga skotten med den här.
Men hellre bakom än framför.
Ja. Ska vi ta lite ner?
Well, Swede's happy to
En 7 då.
split the house here. Just need to make sure they get past that yellow stone of Sabina Kraup.
För att ligga 2.
Bara lite mer fart än där du ror här. Så 0.
Ja, okej. Ja.
Another option could be to come around the outside of the guard and make a takeout on that second shot stone.
Fin linje, lägg den på 10.
På raten!
Jättefin linje, lägg den på 10.
Just looking for T-line weight here.
På 10 eller lite bakom säger.
3 stones to come after this one in the end.
Kom igen. Lite längre, kom igen.
Looks like the sweepers are going to get it far enough.
Ja, kom igen den här.
I think they would have preferred that one back at the tee line. That maybe sets up an opportunity for a hit and roll for Anna
Bra
Sidorova.
så.
100% on the takeouts for CC.
Не видно вообще?
Нет.
There's Roger Schmidt, maybe just checking the clock.
Нет, почти нет.
Я думаю, надо ролл сейчас сделать, а потом это оставлять на последний, если будет возможность, да. Даже если я здесь его сейчас достану, он станет открытым.
See the Russians down to under 6 minutes with another 2 ends to play. We'll need to move reasonably swiftly, but no reason for panic quite yet.
Did mention the English team in the B group with 41 seconds left to play the last end. Didn't seem to be a problem. Down 6 seconds to spare and won the game. Impressive.
Нет, совсем.
So Anna Sidorova going for the big hit and roll, but hits it a little bit square. Sheet B, Germany, Norway. Been over here a few times during this 8th session. I think this is the first time we've seen Danny Drindle.
Ja! Ja! Ja!
7-4 leaders. And that's her sister, Anna-Lena and Marika. Sweeping that stone down onto the nose to score 1. And make the scoreline the same as our featured game. Germany leading by 4 with just 2 ends to go.
10,5.
Rulla av är också okej.
10,5.
10,5.
Yes.
All straightforward takeout here. I don't think they'll want to hit this one exactly on the nose. They want to roll a little bit, not to leave an easy takeout for Anna Sidorova to score.
Yeah, I think you just heard the front head saying, oh, even if she rolls all the way out here, it's not too bad. Might be a soft way takeout in the guard for 2, but that'll be pretty difficult. This one will overcurl though, and it will leave a pretty easy double for 2. Not quite the tolerance on that shot, Tussi Estlund.
Well, maybe we should have played the easier shot and just peeled out, as you said there, Sander. Wouldn't have really left an opportunity for Russia to score 2. It's always easy to fall into the trap of making a hit and stick just so you can get more yellows in the house. It always looks better, but maybe not the right call on this occasion.
Playing this one on the in turn. Last stone of the 8th end, looking for 2. Sweeping it all the way here, trying to hold the line. And it's good for 2. Anna Sidorova.
A bit of a gift there from Sweden. Russia getting a much needed 2-pointer on the board in the 9th end, sorry, in the 8th end. And after 8 ends, it's Sweden 8, Russia 6.
Давайте, девочки, поближе. Ближе надо. Еще.
9th end, Russia trailing by 2.
Лучше потом ближе свежим.
Sweden choosing to come around the centre guard here. I think having covered one of the Sweden men's games earlier this week. I don't think they would be using this tactic. I think we would be seeing Niklas Edin throwing to the wing. Perhaps you could take us through the merits of both philosophies, Sander?
Well, I think if you draw around the guard here, just really cluttering up the centre line, and if you draw to the wing, you're leaving that centre line a lot more open. And even playing the tick shot here is a possibility. It's tick shot is obviously just kind of moving that guard over without removing it from play, trying to open up the centre. I think a lot of teams just kind of look at that shot as a 10-10 shot, but you can certainly use it at any time during a game. And I think we've even seen the Germany's men's team use it in the first half of the game, just as a tactical opener to an end. But Sweden has placed that first yellow in a pretty good spot. And now putting another one in there. 2 yellows in the forfeit. Could be something that Russia can play around with. Gotta be perfect here. Leave it a couple of feet short of the first one.
Well, certainly a few years ago, Rachel Homan started using it pretty much every time she had the hammer. So it is a big part of the game, that tick shot, and something the Leeds do practice regularly. This one's just going to hang up a little bit high. Back over sheet D. Scotland 7, Switzerland 4. Here's Alina Pats. Fighting for their lives, really. Looking like they're going to drop to 4 wins and 4 losses. Makes the hit and stick here, though, to score 1. And extends that game into the 10th end. Still trailing by 2, though, without the last stone coming home. Well, a double takeout played there by Russia. Sander, some interesting facial expressions from you on that one.
Yeah, just seems a bit weird to remove the yellows from play. I think the obvious call there was to make the same contact, just with less weight, to get to nose, move those yellow stones in behind the tee line, create a bit of a nest somehow. Less stones in play is just, it's good for Sweden, really. They'll be quite happy to see that shot thrown. Keep it clean, peel that centre guard off. Now there are only 2 stones in play.
Well, that's it. We kind of talked about playing around the centre when you're up in the game, and they were presenting Russia with an opportunity there by being that aggressive, and Russia turned it down.
Now coming around the tight centre guard. I wouldn't even mind seeing them throw a long guard here, seeing how the guard they have so tight to their rings. You'll probably see Sweden trying to run that back into the Reds in the house, and they might just clear up everything here very early in the end and leave Russia with no chance. Yeah, just that move has been maybe just a bit too early for my liking. Let's see if Sara Karlsson can peel off a couple of reds.
Oh, she's had a super game.
Oh, that is a bit unlucky. She stuffs the red one and leaves the guard. Tolerance was obviously to just peel the centre guard there. But that's a shot that's kind of hard to make if you try it.
Sheet E, Anna Kosta, 5-4 leaders against Denmark. And Denmark were absolutely flying at the start of the week, rolled off 6 straight. Then lost to Norway last night and struggling dearly against Finland. That one's going to stop in time, despite Stephanie Ruisdahl-Nielsen's best efforts. Score of 2 for Finland and a 3-shot lead with 2 ends to go.
Jos mitataan, niin sit mitataan. Mun mielestä meillä oli. Halus ne viimeksikin mitata.
Russia coming around again. And the good thing for Sweden now is they're running a Yellowstone back into the house. Sabina Krupp trying to make contact. Oh, look at that. Perfect shot. Picks off 2 reds. Still leaving a guard, but still yellow and still fairly tight to the ring, so things looking a lot better for Sweden already.
Yeah, nicely cleaned up, but still a stone in the 4-foot guarded.
Plays a little tap. Does get some good angles there. Through the hole anyway. You won't be able to make the double directly onto the reds, but you can run the yellow guard back again and make the double. So I think it's worth a go. But Sweden feeling like they want to play the safer option. Just going to go directly at the red stone.
Well, you expect that they'll only be able to get one of them out of there. Certainly make the scoring area a bit bigger. Catches the guard, and once again Anna Huchta goes down.
Out fighting for her life last game.
I think definitely think national coach Pia Lindholm is going to have to do something about this. Nice to look at the training of the Swedish sweepers.
I mean, maybe just staple some cushions on their knees.
Yeah, maybe give them a helmet.
So a bit of a missed shot there by Sabina Krupp, but is lucky enough to punch that red stone over and off the centre line. So Sweden might even be able to come off that if they have to.
I think Anna Huchta is going to be black and blue tomorrow.
Pretty sure this was guard by Sidorova. She's come all the way down into the forfeit.
That's just a huge let-off.
It is almost perfectly frozen. That was the only good thing about that shot. But Cici Östlund can catch a thin piece of the top red. She might be able to spill all 3 reds, if not necessarily all the way out of the house, but at least off the centre line. Open up that forfeit area to score. Especially that top stone will maybe have a hard time getting all the way out the side door. It's very easy to throw these shots a little safe, knowing you're up in the game, and you don't have to make the triple. And I think that's exactly what's happened. Thrown that a little bit tight to the broom. Only getting rid of 1 red, and actually if Sidorova plays the nose hit here, Cici Östlund's going to be left with a bit of a pressured shot to score.
Yeah, it doesn't finish in a great spot, that Yellowstone. You'd expect after a nose hit from Anna Sidorova, the stone's going to be obviously a stone higher in the house. And, could be a dangerous one for Cici Östlund's last stone. Oh, super shot. Well, looks like it's going to have to be a pressure draw here. for Stacey Östlund, facing 3 in the 8 foot.
Confidence kept calling the right shot here. I think we've seen a lot of other skips maybe opting to play maybe double on the reds. And I think in the 9th end, throw a pretty easy double, you're 1 down. You know, you give up 1 point, you're 1 down with a hammer, you're pretty happy. This feels a bit risky, playing the draw. If you ever give up a steal 3 here, or 2, you know, it's a whole different ball game.
Certainly a consideration, Sander. You could get shot by playing the triple as well, catching the wide one.
Yep. But just looking for that cool draw. Do see 57% on 7 draws for Stacey Östlund. A couple of them have been out wide and in the rough though. Well, sweepers seem pretty happy with the speed. Needs to get past these 2 reds. Sabina Kraut coming out to help. Not required though. Wow. Fabulous draw by Stacey Östlund. Down onto the button. She knows how important that one was. There's another one on the board for Sweden. That could be the one that just seals the deal for Sweden. 9 ends played, and it's Sweden 9, Russia 6.
Bra koll, tjejer. Bra. Igenom båda, eller ska vi dra en topp 4?
Final end of regulation time here in draw 8. If you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the 2015 Gruyère European Curling Championships, our featured games, Sweden and Russia. And Sweden on for perhaps a bit of an upset, would you say, Sander?
Yeah, I think I said I favoured Russia before this game started, and so far looks like I'm wrong. Sweden has been firing on all cylinders. All 4 players playing really well, while the Russians have just not shown their best. We've seen a whole. Haven't seemed too interested in the game, and have failed to communicate, and missed a lot of shots and made a few tactical errors as well, as Kristin Skarslien, skip of Norway, just throwing her last one in the 9-10 Logan.
Well, once again hits and rolls out and gives up another steal. 9-4 Germany. And I think that'll be enough for the Norwegians, with just 1 end to come. The handshake is offered. And Norway will move to 3 wins and 5 losses, joined by Germany on the same record. Both of these teams really fighting out for a place at the World Championships, and Germany hanging in there. Back in our featured game. A couple of corner guards for Russia, and Sweden are going to start peeling them off.
Good solid slide by Sara Karlsson. Sorry.
Yeah, she's had a good game, Sara, despite That unlucky shot in the 9th end. Final score on sheet D. Switzerland defeated by Scotland. Eve Muirhead rolling along quite nicely after a little bit of a slow start. Moves to 6 wins and 2 losses. And the reigning world champions will drop to 4 wins and 4 losses. And needing a little bit of help if they want to feature in the semi-finals. That could be a big upset not to see Elena Patz and her team in the semis. Peels the guard once again. And Finland, Denmark. Finland lying one in there behind the guard, and all Lena Nielsen can really do here is draw for 1 to close the gap. Just starting to look a little bit edgy, the Danes, as we get towards the end of the week. I'm sure they were thrilled with the start that they made. 6 straight wins, but they're going to have to steal 2 if they want to extend this 8th round matchup against Finland. Russia throw the guard, but slip into the house with that one. Well, again, Sweden seemed quite happy to stick around in the house there, and that could cause them problems later on. So just a bit of a roundup on what's been happening here in draw 8, as you see across the bottom of there. No huge shocks this far, but certainly looking like Finland might turn over Denmark. Oh, nice draw here from Margareta Fomina. Gets it into a good spot and behind that red guard at the top of your screen. And this is how they equate live standings. Scotland moving to 6 and 2, Switzerland 4 and 4, Germany and Norway 3 and 5. They're the changes with 3 games still out there. Well, a thin snick on the guard, moves it to the side. Probably does enough. Russia probably needing another miss here, Sander, to score 3.
Yep, yeah, I would think so. Sweden just make their simple shots well. They should win this game. And only 2 stones left for Sweden. So Cissi Estlund just have to make a peel on this card and then probably play an open hit for the win. Make sure to catch this one thin enough. If you ever overcurl this one, you might jam it on the yellow stone there on the wing of the house.
Yeah, don't need any heroics here though, just need to get the guard off.
Yeah, could play the run the blonde reds, but if you just make the simple peel here, you'll be left with an open hit for the W. Just make the simple stuff well, and there we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. Could not afford to do that. She's jammed it on the side there, And all of a sudden, a chance for Russia to maybe score their 3.
Wow. Would have been better not even throwing that one.
Чтобы она не могла и надеяться на чудо.
Вот это сейчас было
Блин,
0-8.
я же показала, ну куда ты смотришь? Ужас.
Sidorova will throw the guard here.
Сейчас вот этот тайм.
Could also play the hit and roll off the yellow.
0-8.
Not sure if it's the easiest double in the world. How those 2 red stones are just side by side. If you don't make this guard perfect, Stone will just be able to pick one of the reds out.
Well, they certainly don't want to leave them an easier double than it's already there.
Есть, отлично, ничего. Просто не сильно хотели.
I think Sweden can see enough of the red stone here. Other option could be to split the rings, play a draw, freeze onto one of the red stones.
Yep.
I think they have elected to play the straight pick. From the looks of our angle, looks like they can see maybe a 3rd. 5.5.
Roger just up there with the iPad trying to save this memory. Take a photo of the position of the stones.
Maybe Roger Smith had other thoughts on that call.
Or maybe he expects the Swedish Supers to fall again and move all the stones, and they need some sort of a record to put them all back. So, has she got it? She has not. She's missed everything. Can you believe it? Anna Sidorova has a takeout, score 3 out of nothing. 2 bad misses by the Swedish skip, who's looked so solid all game.
Made a few simple mistakes, but she made all the key shots, and certainly that was 2 key shots having to be made here in the 10th end, and not even close to that second on that second attempt. And you'll see Sidorova playing all of 13 hits so far, having played 19 shots. Should be pretty close with it.
Final stone of the 10th end. I think the Supers have done enough here. And Russia, having been nowhere all game, pull together an okay 10th end to score 3 and tie it up. We're going to need to go to an extra end here. It's Russia 9, Sweden 9.
Сразу начинаем. Ну что, все, мяско, все держим, контролем все до.
2 гарда.
2 хочешь?
Ну, конечно.
Well, all of a sudden, Russia in with a chance and looking a lot more interested. First time they've really been in the game since the first half. Since the 4th end. And Ruka Eshe just drops one over the hog line. Nicely done. And we see the tick shot for the first time today, Sander.
Yeah, certainly in the 10th or an extra end. It's the time to make those type of shots. We have the rule where you're not allowed to remove a guard from play early on in an end, but you are allowed to just move them over, try to neutralize them. This one is going to go all the way through. I think she just kind of put a bit too much weight on that shot. Usually when you're ticking at least a long guard like that, you're maybe just looking at a backline weight. And that was a thorough hack. Didn't curl enough for her. So we're going to put that stone back, as it is a free guard zone violation. And Russia will be looking to put another guard up, this time a little closer to the house, just allowing maximum separation between the center guards. And with that, making it hard for Sweden to make a double peel.
Well, they'll be looking for this one tight to the house, using the free guard zone, but getting them directly in line is the key. Confirmation that Finland have defeated Denmark by 7 shots to 6. A big upset there, and Finland in great shape for the semi-finals now. They moved to 5 wins and 3 losses alongside nobody at the moment, actually. Scotland on 6 wins. Denmark will move to 6 wins as well with 2 losses. And they're all stacking up now. Still quite a few teams in contention going into the final draw of this round robin. Well, that's exactly what you're looking for from your lead when a tick shot's called. Great shot by Anna Huchta, throws much less weight. And a little hint of a smirk there from Anna. Always pleasing for the leads when they make the tick shot.
Кира, да. Кира. Очень да, линия. О, вес есть. О, вес. Вы помните, что садится здесь? Нет, Кира всегда первый. Есть. Начало. Есть. Сам туда, сам.
Молодец.
Умничка.
Спасибо. Я думала, это выгадывает, честно.
Varandra. Bara enkla. Japp. Sten. Bra Sara. Allez, bra spel. Bra Sara.
Peels the guard and opens up the shot in the house.
Bra Sara.
Russia just need to make sure that they keep good separation on these 2 red stones and don't set up any straightforward double takeout opportunities.
Пока 6. Гар, точно.
I've been trying to find out if there's been an extra end so far, and can't find any. I think this might be the first extra end in the women's competition so far this week. Correct me if I'm wrong. We did have 1 extra end, the men's draw between the Czech Republic and the Netherlands, but yeah, it's almost no extra ends this week, and it's not because the games haven't been tight. Because we had a lot of tight 10 ends out here in the arena.
I'm sure the ice makers will be happy about that.
I think everyone's going to be happy with that. Anyway, working around the curling anyway.
Sabina. Bra. Det är bra Sara. Bra spel.
Makes the single peel and strolls over to the wing. Well, Norway in the men's draw certainly haven't had any extra ends this week. They have just been steamrolling the field so far. Sandra, you came out with a particularly good stat about their fantastic performances so far through 7 rounds.
Yes. So far in 7 games, they haven't played a 10-10 yet, which is pretty incredible. And I've been trying to look back to see if any team's gone through a round robin in European Curling Championships history without having to play a 10-10. And as far as I can see, no one has. So if Norway somehow can manage to win the last 2 games without getting to a 10th end, that'll be the first time in history to do so since the introduction of the European Championships in 1975.
And how many ends have they saved this far?
I think they've saved 21 ends of play.
Just incredible. Saving 2 whole games worth of ends. They should be fresh for the semi-finals. Final score on sheet C. Estonia defeating Hungary by 8 shots to 6 and putting their first win on the board for the week. I think that perhaps confirms what many of us already expected, that Hungary and Estonia will both be relegated to the B division next year, both on 1 win and 7 losses. Can't catch Germany or Norway on 3 wins with just 1 round to come. Well, a good guard by Fomina. Russia playing a good end here. All of a sudden looking much sharper than they have done all game.
Also null tight on the broom. Plan B is to try and make the run back, but we'll stick it. Leaves the red stone in front and the centre guard. Chance for Russia to come around both. Ooh.
I just think that perhaps down the stretch here, Sweden trying to do a little bit too much with their shots rather than just doing the absolutely taking care of the basics. And that's just the worst result possible, really. So all of a sudden, a glorious chance for Russia.
The biggest problem I see too is that the yellow corner guard on the outturn side seems to be blocking off the draw there. So I'm not sure if they have that draw available. So key shot for Anna Sidorova here. Again, a lot of rotation down here. Might just be a bit straighter on this side. I'm saying how it tends to curl more towards the board. This would be away from it. A decent try, for sure.
Okej. Har jag någonting? Ja. Sätt upp platten. Spelar inte hon bara samma? Lite mindre. Sådär.
Nice look from the hack there.
Men typ hack eller?
Yeah, just asking lead Anna Huhta what you can see from the hack. The view from the house sometimes can be a bit deceiving.
Alternativet är att spela den där.
Ja, absolut.
A good shot would probably to make the little hit and roll and try and save the shooter in a way that can maybe come off it on their second shot.
Spela den här. Hack då.
And that's what they're trying to do, I think. Play hack weight, come around the guard, just tap it back of the house at least, and try and keep the shooter maybe just in the same spot where Sabina Krebs' broom is. And that's going to leave them a couple of options to win the game. Couldn't see much though.
Hack.
Well, you'd hate to just tickle the centre guard here and slide all the way through.
So So a must make here. CC Östlund with her first stone of this extra end.
Got to make sure to make contact with something here. Just going to be all over the guard here. Take it over. Now for sure that out-turn side is blocked off. And I wonder if Sidorova blocks off the in-turn here, Sweden's not going to be left with a whole lot to do.
Yeah, the only option that I can see that they would have is to play a tap up on the stone they just chipped over. So tough shot left.
I can't believe how this game's developed.
Фриз, делай фриз, будем разгонять.
Seemed like a lock for Team Sweden until Cissi Östlund missed both her shots on the 10th end to give up a 3. You see both coaches on the bench, both looking a bit worried. But I want to say being Russia here is probably the better of the two. A pretty good situation going. And they're going to play some type of shot down the in-turn side here. It might just be a straight guard, or they might be trying to tap up their shot stone to get a bit closer to the pin. Definitely coming in here, looking for a little tap on the nose. Line's looking really good. Gets to the nose, taps it up 1.5 feet. Really good shot. Seems like a good shot. Let's have a second glance to see what's left for Sweden. They call a timeout.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot though, and unfortunately calling a timeout is not going to bring in a helicopter, which is what they effectively need right now to get a stone onto the button.
So just conferring with P.L. Lindholm, the national coach of Sweden, before making his way down to the ice there, Swedish coach.
Men det är nästan så att den här känns lättare, va?
So I think that tap is a viable option.
Jag tänker mig 10-0, ja, precis.
The treble on the reds.
Den gillar jag.
Pretty hard. Not sure if it's quite there.
Lättast att skippa hem. Det känns mest bekant i...
Patrik Klarmo coming out.
Det är tveksamt.
Ska jag åka upp och kolla eller?
Nej, det behöver jag tror inte att vi kan det. Jag tror vi behöver spela den inifrån.
Vi ville bara tiden, Patrik. Vi är klara.
Well, if there is an angle to push the yellow stone that they're looking at onto the shot stone in the button, that makes the shot slightly easier than it would if it was just a dead weight tap onto the button. Just gives you a little bit more room for error.
This is a tough shot. She had 2 simple shots to put the game away in the 10th. Now being faced with a much tougher shot to win the game here in the extra. Not taking a lot of ice here. I wonder if she's playing this one to the red. Last stone of the 11th end.
Looks like she's playing it reasonably firmly, so she will need to use that red stone on the button. Too much weight. Just too much weight, and can you believe it? Sweden pipped to the post. A couple of bad ends to finish. And they looked like deserving winners throughout, but
Thank you.
just couldn't get over the winning line.
Thank you.
Anna Sidorova.
Thank you.
manages to steer her Russian team to their 7th win of the week. And Sweden with some work to do this evening, now on 4 wins and 4 losses. Final score, Russia 12, Sweden 9.
Well, certainly the first miles for Team Russia in 2.5 hours. Didn't seem like Sweden had a good grasp of this game all the way through. Just not quite managing to get there in the end. Didn't really do anything wrong in terms of tactics, I think. At the end, just a couple of missed shots by Cissi Östlund. Gave Russia that chance to score 3. And we got what I think was the first extra end of the women's round robin in the A group. Fifth end. Anna Sidorova leaving Sweden with a chance to score 4. Cissi Östlund making no mistakes as she'll hit this red stone right on the beak. It's a big 4 to be put up on the scoreboard. We skip along all the way to the 10th end. That is Russia with a chance to score 3 after 2 missed shots by Cissi Östlund. And it would put the game into an extra. In the extra end, everything just went wrong for Team Sweden. Russia made some good shots. Sidorova taps up her shot stone further to the pin on the last Cissi Östlund with a tap up that goes all the way through the house, leaves Russia scoring another 3 and wins the game 12-9.
Thank you, congrats. 3 red reds. Yeah.
Here are the other scores out there today. We saw Germany take on Norway, winning 9 shots to 4. Estonia and Hungary, the bottom teams. Estonia coming out with a victory there, and Scotland beating the reigning world champion Switzerland 7 shots to 5. Well, Finland fenced off Denmark with a 7 shots to 6 win. This is how they rack up after session 8. Russia, Denmark and Scotland have all qualified to the playoffs. Finland with a good chance there at 5-3. Switzerland at 4-4 along with Sweden. Germany and Norway out of the playoff contention at 3-5, but will keep their spot in the A group. Estonia and Hungary will be relegated to the B group.
And a tough game. Congratulations on the win. Tell us about it.
Well, yeah, really tough game and pretty nervous as well, because it felt like we're playing not the game in round robin, but the game probably in a 3-4 page, on 1-2 page, anywhere. But I mean, like top 4 and for the medals. But that's good practice before the coming to the playoff game. So, well, it's not always easy. So if we can win such a game, so then we became stronger.
And I'm sure you had an eye on the other scoreboards, and you probably knew Denmark weren't winning. Does that affect how you play at all?
I didn't see anything, to be honest, because the game didn't go the way we wanted to. So there was nothing about other games. So I just tried to concentrate about my game. And well, now I know that Denmark lost, but we still have the game tonight versus them. So everything will be clear right after.
And was there ever a moment in the game that you thought this one's just not going to happen, we're not going to get this one on the board?
Well, probably when the scoreboard was like 8-4 and we didn't play that well. So probably sometimes there were a couple of thoughts, but you know, you have to play, you have to try, and what you can do when you are losing, you can just try to play every shot and make a performance like on the higher level. So that's what we wanted to, and that's what we tried to, and we succeed.
Congratulations and keep up the good work.
Well, that's all for today's women's draw. We'll be back at 1600 hours local time for Norway-Switzerland in the men's draw. For me, Sander Holvag, and my co-commentator Logan Great. We'll see you again shortly.